Who's your boy? We're going to start without him?
I don't know. We'll just start without him, and then we'll shit on him when he shows up.
Yes.
You know.
I come up. See, look.
You know how it is around here.
Jesus.
Look, I'm efficient. All right.
Welcome back to the Bar Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Andy of Inebriart, and I am joined today by Dan Mahoney of Stats.
Oh, wait, he's not here yet.
Not here yet. That new voice you hear, though, is Mike Wisdom of Wisdom Ferments.
Hello.
Friend of the show.
Thanks for having me.
Times before. Actually, you've been on, like, both versions of the show.
Inebriart and Bar Talk, and I feel like I've worked at a few different restaurants being on those.
The shitty version and the shittier version?
Ooh,
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And you're at Duval's.
Duval's General Store in South Dartmouth right now, yeah.
Nice.
So I'm running the kitchen over there, and we just started doing Friday dinners 2 weeks ago.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we are also, Karl's here, of course, New World Tavern.
Hello, everybody.
You know Karl. And we're also joined by Jess of New World Tavern.
Hello.
What's up, Jess?
What's up?
What up?
So, since we brought Mike on, Karl, we should probably talk about being a chef and making your own product and trying to market that product. And how come you never done that? How come you don't have a Heine brand Hawaiian shirt?
Oh, man. I think that would
Because
kill
I-
it, honestly.
I know.
I know, just the
65
word
bucks a
Heine in
pop.
reference to Karl is really stressing.
My
What
lawyers,
do you like, the
my lawyers are telling me
Hawaiian
not to talk about that right now.
Hawaii?
shirt? The Hawaiian shirt?
Hawaii.
I want a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh no. Would it have his face all over it?
Like an
Or like
all-over
maybe like
print?
a Where's Heine on the shirt?
You'll have,
On the
like,
Hawaiian
New Balance
shirt?
sneakers.
Yeah, New Balances. Yeah, you can have
Bunch
a
of
whole line of
umbrellas.
shirts.
Hold on, I'm writing this shit down.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right?
All right, hold on. We need to copyright it now, Andy, before you so we can make some money off of it.
Fish, make a note, go out and get the domain for HawaiianShirts.com.
I actually
And we'll
just
sell it
did
back
it,
to Karl.
so yeah.
But you have Wisdom Ferments.
I do, yeah.
Which is what, exactly? Tell everybody.
So at this point, it is a small batch condiment company. So I try to pretty much just incorporate fermented foods into every product, and try to source things as locally as possible. And I've been doing a few farmers markets. So I'm at the Rye Tavern farmers markets, usually on Mondays, but today is Monday and I'm not there. I don't have enough stuff to sell there.
You have to be like,
I just need to ramp up my production a little bit to get back to where I was at. But that's a good problem to have. I sold out of a few things last week, and I started this when the pandemic started, and I started selling hot sauce through the Garden of Easton. They had a little delivery service going on.
yeah.
So yeah, I was doing hot sauce and sauerkraut, and I just haven't stopped. There's no breaks.
I remember I bought hot sauce from you in like the 7-Eleven parking
We did a
lot. It was
sketchy
it was
little hot sauce deal. Yeah, I'm like, hey, I got the stuff.
And there was, he's like, there's no labels on these. I'm like, I don't care. And I'm just like, I'm going to get busted on the way home. And
Yeah.
they're going to arrest me just being like, I don't know
What's
what
in
to
that
put
hot
them
sauce,
on.
boy?
I had a cooler full of sauerkraut for somebody. I was meeting them at CVS, and somebody must have said something to a police officer who was on duty. I'm not kidding. So he comes up to my window. I'm sitting in my car, and he's like, "Hey, so you've been sitting here for about an hour. What's going on?" I'm like, the person coming to meet me is late. I'm selling them sauerkraut." And I kind of just point to my cooler, and I feel like he's just like, "What the fuck? Like this wasn't even worth the 2 minutes of talking to you, you know?" He's just like, "Yeah, have a great day, you friggin' hippie."
He's like, great, now I got to go fill up sauerkraut paperwork.
Exactly. I don't even know how to spell that.
Yeah, I know. Nobody does.
That's why I just put kraut.
There you go.
Exactly.
I don't think you can say that word anymore.
Kraut?
Shit.
Who would that be offensive
No,
to?
they lost the war.
The Germans.
The Germans. They lost the war.
Everybody's offended by everything nowadays.
I know
though,
it.
So
Yeah, I know.
it's it is what it is.
I might come up with a product and just have all the names that you can't say, call it my product.
All right.
Yeah,
But I'm going to say
So
it's
90%
not
of your vocabulary
in front of it.
As long as you don't start like a Karl's Kraut company, I think we're okay.
Karl's Kraut.
There will.
Karl's Heine Kraut?
and he'll spell company with K.
Yeah.
I don't think that's in your best interest, but that's really.
Hold on,
a
let me cross
personal
that out. Now I
decision.
get it.
Yeah. Oh man.
Fish don't buy Karl's Kraut company.
Karl's Kraut.
Please don't do that,
.com.
fish.
So you said you started during COVID. Was it just because you were bored? Or?
Yeah, I was super bored. I have ADHD and I can't sit still, so pretty much I needed to do
so you
something
made
to stay
kraut.
busy. Yeah, so I made kraut. My friends
That's why I
at
have a
Tilton
comedy
Timber, they whittled
right?
me a kraut crusher, which is like a piece of wood to tamp down the... Don't look at me with these motions that I'm
no,
doing.
they
but-
whittled you?
So they made me a kraut crusher out of wood that I used to pretty much pack the kraut down. So when you push it down, the water comes out of it, and the water actually has to be over the top of the cabbage for it to ferment like properly. So a lot of like the local farmer cabbage around here has like a great water content. But if you were to go to the supermarket and buy cabbage that's been sitting there for however long, you actually have to add a little bit of water because the water content has kind of gone away as it sits.
So you're saying
that
you're
makes
looking
sense.
for a really moist kraut?
We need some moist cabbage to make some good kraut. Yeah. For it to be safe, yeah. Because mold and bacteria can grow if it's not submerged in its own brine.
Moist.
Yeah.
I just want to keep
moist.
saying
I'm
that
just going to
word.
keep saying moist.
Moist.
I feel like enough people are saying moist now that's kind of lost.
I don't know. I think it sends shivers down a lot of people's spines,
Yeah.
and I'm really into that. So moist.
Somebody last week at the market said they wanted moist tomatoes. They didn't want. I'm like next to Teal Farm, so I always hear weird things asked for. And they picked up tomatoes. They're like, these aren't ripe enough. I really want like moist tomatoes. We all kind of just made a face at each other, and they got their tomatoes. But
They want them plump and moist.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
We're really.
All right, anyway, your hot sauce. Yeah,
Yeah, we're crushing it. Yeah.
Excellent concept.
crushing
This
it.
is
Get it?
exactly what I'm here for.
See, you see what I did?
Kraut
Yeah.
crusher.
Hey.
Whatever. So, but how much of it is a concern because you said that it can cause mold and whatever? But like,
Yeah. Anything
Is it
can
potentially
get moldy.
dangerous, or
I mean, anything is potentially dangerous if you're not doing it right. If you think about
Facts,
that.
yeah.
alcohol's not.
So yeah, pretty much it needs to. You need to have your cabbage at a constant like 67 to 70-ish degrees to ferment properly, and within that range, and as long as you have the right amount of salt, the microorganisms will pretty much be making themselves in the sauerkraut and deterring anything bad going on. So I weigh all my cabbage, and then I do a 3% salt to weight ratio, and that percentage right there is pretty much what kills any bad microorganisms that would occur.
I didn't realize kraut was so sciencey.
It's literally cabbage and
Jesus.
salt, but yeah,
know
it sounds more
microwave
sciencey
science.
than it really is.
Well, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You're a chef. You want to come up with your own products.
Yep.
Sauerkraut wouldn't have been the first thing that runs through my
No,
head,
not at
saying,
all.
"Hey, you know what I should do? Sauerkraut."
So the
Nobody's
thing is,
doing it.
Well, people are used to canned sauerkraut, and I feel like it's either on a Reuben or a hot dog, and that's fine. But that sauerkraut's been heat treated so it can be in a can. So I make raw sauerkraut. So all the probiotics and all the good enzymes in there for your stomach are still available in the sauerkraut. So essentially everything I make, I want to be delicious, but I also want it to have like maybe a little bit of a health benefit for you. And I had a friend who was diagnosed with Crohn's like a while back, and he was going through all these different medications and this and that. And I kind of started delving into the fermentation side of things at the same time. And I'm like, dude, all this stuff could probably potentially help your stomach. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but it's worth a shot. If you're already taking all this medicine, you might as well give that a go as well. So I've been making kombucha and sauerkraut and fermented hot sauces and fermented
Damn.
mustards and anything I can get my hands on to just keep me busy.
Damn.
And
Yeah,
eventually I would love to
science.
keep growing this, into stores and a storefront.
So, besides being in an alley behind CVS selling your sauerkraut,
yeah.
how do you market yourself?
Right now, I pretty much use Instagram and Facebook. I definitely, like I said, I'm kind of working on a website right now, but it also doesn't make sense to put a website up if I can't keep up with the production that I'm doing, right now. But yeah, I mean, Instagram has been a huge tool for me. I've gotten a few jobs through Instagram. It's there for us to use, and I feel like if it's used in the right way, then it can definitely help people be successful, Obviously, there's other avenues. There's like TikTok and Twitter and all that, but I don't really get into that, but maybe I should. Yeah.
TikTok, I gotta do more TikTok.
I
just have to.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, scaling is always the issue. I mean,
Yes.
it's easy to make like one batch, but
Totally.
how do you handle that problem without farming it out to someone else to just be like, here, go make my product?
I pretty much, just to keep it's either me or my girlfriend Kara making this stuff. But like right now I should be at the market, but I didn't have enough stuff, and maybe I could have had somebody help me and do it, but I don't have the money to pay somebody.
Right.
And as it seems, I don't have the product to give them a bunch of free product either. But yeah, I mean, we're just trying to figure it out. I mean, I went from working 50 or 60 hours a week to like 40, 45. So I'm trying to take that extra time and just put that back into Wisdom Ferments, and just kind of figure it out as we go, just like anything, I guess.
Is like crowdsourcing an option?
It definitely is. It's definitely something that we've talked about and we've thought about. I don't think I'm like at that point yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely a viable option. I mean,
like Karl could kickstart.
Totally, yeah. And I'll
Karl,
kickstart your Hawaiian
I
shirt
think he
business, and it'll be.
We can
I
talk.
think he just wants
Yeah.
to kick, like most things. Just physically kick most things.
Do you know what Kickstarter is, Karl?
Kickstart?
Yeah, Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's like when on your bicycle
Yeah, totally. Yep, 100% right.
or an airplane when you say contact.
Yeah. Right.
No, I never heard of Kickstarter, Instagram, Facebook. Come on, I'm hip, man. I'm hip.
Are you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I TikToked on Facebook a bunch.
exactly.
Unknowingly.
on his flip phone.
And then he put it on MySpace.
So what's been the biggest challenge? Karl wants to start his Hawaiian shirt company.
So the biggest challenge, definitely finding a kitchen to use. So right now I use a commercial kitchen in Carver. But I mean, even that, it's just tough because, say I'm making the sauerkraut, I ferment that for at least 21 days. So I need to have a place for that to sit where nobody's gonna friggin' touch it, pretty much.
Yeah.
You got to
unless
simmer it for 22
No,
days?
it needs to sit at
Oh,
room
sit?
temperature. Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ, I thought you were cooking it for
Oh
22
God,
days.
no. So it doesn't get cooked at all, actually. But yeah, it. So that was a challenge. But I mean, I found the kitchen in Carver to use. So I've
Do
been.
you store it there, or do you have to make it then?
No, I store it there. I jar it all there, and then when I do the markets, I have to go to Carver and then back to Plymouth and fill up my cooler. And it is what it is. Yeah, it's like I said, we're just trying to figure it all out. Like right now, I have this PPC hot sauce that I made for Pretentious Pickle Company.
Yep.
So it's available there at the moment. It's peaches, plums, and chipotle. So Lorraine reached out to me about making
Is that how you say that word? Chipotle?
chipotle,
Yeah.
Not chipotle?
chipotle,
Chipotle.
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 Oh, shit.
Hoss and Frass
Dan's
Incorporated.
here. We got
Dan showed
I
up.
had you on mute this whole time.
Oh man,
Andy finally told me we were recording today,
been
so
here the whole time. What's going on?
nothing. What's up?
Hanging
We already
out.
introduced you.
Sick. Did you do my lines, Jess?
No.
What the
Sorry,
fuck?
I dropped the ball.
They usually just say yo and what.
No, we just sat in silence. I think there was a couple crickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when Jordan's not here, just can talk continuously. It makes sense. So. Kyle's got his tie-dye shirt on today. I like it.
Thank you.
Right.
Well,
I
Starting
know.
his own company.
It's a sweet tie dye.
Oh yeah.
A tie-dye company?
No,
No.
Hawaiian shirts.
Ooh, all right. I'll have to hear more later.
They're gonna be
I
Hawaiian
don't want
shirts
you to repeat to
With
everybody.
all asses everywhere.
Okay,
I
yeah.
like it.
Wait, what?
I think that's acceptable at this point.
Yeah.
It's probably celebrated.
Yep.
So,
It's encouraged.
yeah.
I think you should definitely do it.
All right, I'm in.
All right.
That was a nice little nonsensical segue.
Yeah. It's great.
On brand for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so let's go something else. So you do hot sauces?
Yeah.
You do mustards, all that.
Sauerkraut.
Barbecue.
Barbecue. Whatever.
What's the best seller?
Right now, I mean, I think I would have to say a few of the types of hot sauce, and I just made a rhubarb barbecue sauce, otherwise known as rhubarb-barbecue.
I like
that,
it.
That sold out pretty quick, so I'm actually going to be making another batch of that this week or next week.
So when you do a sauce, like what's the fermented part?
So the rhubarb-barbecue, I got local rhubarb from Eva's Organic Garden in Dartmouth. I got local honey, and I fermented rhubarb honey. So I let that go for about 2 weeks, and then I used that to sweeten my barbecue sauce. So then I'm not using refined sugars or like corn syrup or anything. So that's kind of adding like.
Oh, you should do
probiotics
corn
to the
syrup.
sauce.
It's much cheaper.
It is much cheaper. Oh, hey, you are 100% right. But yeah, it's something, I'm trying to just like, not use any ingredients with the word bleach in them. So, white sugar is bleached, which we all use it, obviously. But for this purpose, I'm trying to steer away from products like that. That's all. And I almost just tapped the table, and I saw the way that you just looked at me. So
I wasn't looking at you because I almost
Those rules don't exist anymore now that Andy's a silent guy.
I think a lot of people too think fermentation is a bad thing.
So it's crazy. You're drinking a beer that's fermented. Coffee is fermented. Hot sauce is fermented. Sourdough bread is fermented. Coffee beans are fermented. Yes. Yeast. They're just fermented foods are everywhere. And
He said yeast?
I did. I think the word ferment just scares people, because they're like, ooh, well, that just kind of sounds icky,
to me, it just makes me think of like oatmeal and alcohol.
Yeah, that too. I have people that come up and, I'll start my whole spiel and they're like, oh, sauerkraut, that sounds terrible. I'm like, you don't need to be rude about it. You could just not say it. I get it. Not everybody likes sauerkraut.
We've been working on Karl with that. It's not his fault. It's a
Karl
problem.
just comes to every market.
Sauerkraut, I like.
Sauerkraut
Yeah.
sucks. But yeah,
No
it's
offense, I don't like sauerkraut.
but
But
everybody.
I think it's a lot. Sauerkraut's a lot like a product that if you tell somebody it's sauerkraut before they have it, they already
Yeah.
know that they're not going to like it.
Exactly.
And if you gave it to them and they
Yeah.
taste it and say, "Good, what's this?" You say sauerkraut, they're going to like, "No, it's not."
They just have this preconceived notion, and I make weird krauts too. I have a parsnip ginger kraut right now. I have a beet kraut, and then I have a garlic scape kraut. So that's like super garlicky and a little bit of dill. So it's all like different flavors, great on like sausages, sandwiches. People eat it out of the jar if you're freaky like that.
Jess.
And I think,
Yeah.
I think it's part of that preconceived notion is because, like, growing up, my mother loved sauerkraut.
Yeah, exactly.
From the can.
Yeah.
And, like, if she made it, you'd be like, well, I'm going to leave the house for 3 days.
Yeah, why would I want to smell that? Or 3
Yep.
days? You mean 21 days?
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
But, like, then I've had people that, with, I don't want to say fresh sauerkraut, because is there such a thing?
Yeah, it's. I guess it's fresh, like fresh raw sauerkraut. Yeah,
But, like, homemade, and it's so much better.
it's delicious,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah,
So don't shit on it, Jess.
Yeah, Jess.
I should have brought some.
I'm
but-
100% I'm shitting on sauerkraut. I'm sorry. It's just-
No, and that's all good.
Here's
Yeah,
the thing, here's
but
the
that's
thing,
my
but, like-
job is to get people like you to enjoy it. You
right,
know what
so
I
here's
mean?
the thing. You're 100% right on I already have a preconceived notion
Yep.
that
Exactly.
sauerkraut
Yeah.
is shitty.
Yep.
And I do this to when I cook for my boyfriend at home because he's such a quote unquote picky
My
eater.
boyfriend.
My boyfriend. So this guy that lives with me.
Yeah.
And I don't tell him. I know what he doesn't like, but I don't tell him what I'm cooking. And then when he eats, he's, "Oh my god, this is so good. What's in it?" And I list like 4 things that he doesn't like, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh,
But I didn't-
Okay.
I don't like that."
Right.
Yep,
So
exactly.
I guarantee, like, if I had a blind taste test and I couldn't physically see the sauerkraut, and if I tried it, I probably
Yeah.
would like it. But I
Yeah.
just
Well,
already have a
We've
preconceived
talked
notion
about
of
this.
Exactly.
We've talked about this in a million shows. It's
Yeah.
like IPA. When IPAs
Totally.
first started coming out, nobody would drink them.
Yeah.
Because it was the most bitter thing that you could ever get.
Right.
And now there's a
everybody
million
wants.
different IPAs, and it's a whole new world of IPAs out there.
Yep.
But the people that tried it 15 years ago
Yeah.
and try to drink it, they till this day will not drink an
Well,
IPA.
it's the same with sours. Same exact thing
Yep.
with sours.
I was
right
a
now.
huge fan of
100%.
sours. Yeah, for a
Yep.
while.
Well,
Yeah.
me, I didn't care for sours, but then I started to just kind of dive into different types of sours, not just that
Exactly.
one particular sour. So,
Yeah.
like, shout out to Sour Not Sorry, but their Hannah Colada is delicious.
Sounds
really good.
so
It's
good.
Yep.
great.
Sounds awesome.
But then again, is that really a true sour? It's like, not really.
and it's
but
like,
at least it. No,
Yeah.
listen. But at least it opened the door.
Exactly.
That's,
Yeah.
that's all it needed to do. Is
Totally.
just open the door. And now I'm like, okay, maybe that one sounds good. Okay, maybe I'll try. Like
And
now I'm just
wherever
kind
you
of.
go, if they have a sour, because my wife's the same way. She never liked sours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had one once and liked it. Wherever we go, she'll say, "Oh, I think I'll try that sour."
Yeah.
Because now it's a category she.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's also one of those things. It's there's a lot of things that are an acquired taste. You have to
Yeah. Oh,
taste
for
it.
sure.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So
Sure.
if you kind of get like
Kind of
that-
like you.
Yeah. So if you kind of get that borderline.
How do you know what Andy tastes like?
You should have been in Vegas.
I don't know if I'm
Touche.
interested in Vegas. Doesn't sound like that much fun.
No,
Andy has a bitter taste in his mouth because of it.
From Karl.
From Karl.
I was gonna make a point to fuck y'all now.
All right. Yep.
We don't like
That's
those
a
here.
good
Sorry.
She got all your points out before I got here.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly.
No, I got nothing to say now.
Oh, okay, well, I'm fine.
That's
So
all
when
fine.
you, here's a question, I don't know if you already asked this because I had to go do some business, but when you were in the pandemic and you were just deciding what to do,
Yeah.
how do you, so are hot sauces and sauerkrauts your passion, or is it just something that you're like,
fermented
look,
foods, I would say, yeah, and just like functional foods in general. And a functional food is just a food that you can eat to add something healthy to your life. you
okay,
know?
so that
And
was
you could
your
even
main
say, yeah.
point, so to say.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I started with kombucha. I stopped drinking as much, and I kind of got on kombucha.
See, I've
And
never had kombucha.
so I kind of
Makes you
started
poop.
replacing
Oh, then I definitely
like my
don't want
my after work beers with kombucha because I would just drink a little bit too much. So you might have seen that in the past, but
I don't think so.
no,
The very-
I
so
hide it very well, I guess. Yeah, I don't drink anymore actually, but yeah.
Wisdom was on like, I don't know, episode 10 of Inebriard.
I'm an OG, no big deal.
OG.
Yeah.
Which
in
we're
the
almost
house.
on
Or are you going to
300.
be
Yeah.
on 9 or less to be an OG?
All right, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
it might be 9. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I'm gonna have to look it up after
He
this.
set the precedent. No, actually, Mike Morway set the precedent of Chef's Brain Snacks. But you showed up with kombucha,
I did.
which I've never had.
And you're like, what the
before.
fuck is this?
I'm like,
Why would
what
I
is
want this?
And I tried it. I'm like, oh, this is really good. And then I've tried other kombucha, and I'm like, Mike Wisdom lies, because that was not kombucha. Because every other kombucha
So
I've
mine
had
was good,
tastes
and the
like
rest.
beef.
Okay, so that means that mine's
So
the
you
best,
set
though,
the
is
bar
what you're
high.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a very backwards compliment, but that's how I'm taking it. So that's where we're going with it. But yeah, I mean, even that, it's so it's tough with kombucha because it's slightly alcoholic, and for you to be able to sell it needs to be under 0.5% ABV, I believe. And if it's over that, then it's technically like an alcoholic beverage. In which case, I would need my brewer's license and all this, and I'd pretty much have to be like Colin from Sour Not Sorry and have like a whole other operation going. But I mean, I guess that's one of the goals. I can't really do the kombucha as much right now, but if I can kind of keep doing this stuff and then branch out and do kombucha, maybe some sort of cafe type deal and all kinds of fermented foods like implemented into the menu, I think that's, one of the goals. I have many goals, I guess, probably too many, but,
So how do you know to do something so different that it's not like what everybody else is doing? Like when it comes to hot sauces, there's like 1,000 hot sauces in the world. How do you know?
So my thing is, I feel like a lot of the hot sauces, especially now, it's like I want to taste this and have like my asshole ripped open. And I think if you're using hot sauce that hot
At the same
on
time.
your food, your food probably isn't that good in the first place if you want it to be that spicy.
Right.
And I go more for like balance, so I really have a good time like balancing the spice with other flavors. So I get people, obviously, they come up and they're like, let me know when you make something hot. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, every other hot sauce company is for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not a hot sauce company. I just kind of do hot sauce plus other things. But, yeah, I try to make everything nice and balanced. Farmer Ben at Skinny Dip Farms in Little Compton is growing me probably way too many chilies right now. It actually just gave me anxiety talking about it. But so last summer he grew a bunch of chilies I had never heard of, and just kind of messing around with different recipes and just figuring out how to balance them. And honestly, like the first days that I'm working with the new chilies is always interesting because I'm tasting it all day. So then I usually don't really feel too good by the end of the day. / like my skin's on fire. But yeah, I mean, I just have fun with it, and I don't know, I just try to do what other people aren't doing because I feel like there's so much hot sauce out there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so much everything, though. You know what I mean? Like, how many new beer companies are there? How many new hot sauce companies are there? It's, everybody's trying to do their thing, and that's awesome. But I think there's room for everybody as well,
But I think it helps that you aren't just a hot sauce company.
Yeah, exactly. And to some people,
how
I'm
many
like the hot sauce guy, but that's
how many
fine.
sauerkraut companies are out there?
There's a few actually, but yeah, it's not really like locally. And I don't know if they're sourcing like their cabbage like from farms or whatnot. Actually, this year was like a really bad cabbage year, I guess, with the drought, which kind of screwed me, but you know, it's fine. We always just pivot. It's like the pandemic, you know what I mean? Like something happens, and you figure out how to deal with it, and then you know you go to whatever the next step is, and you know if something else happens, you figure it out from there, you know. So yeah, that's back to just figuring it out as I go. That's the name of the game.
So I've talked with Kamal at Hillside Harvest.
Yeah, dude, they do awesome stuff.
Great stuff. And I've been in the kitchen when Lorraine's making pickled jalapeno.
Oh yeah.
It really sucks to cook large vats.
It
of hot
really
things.
sucks. Yeah, it's
why do you do that?
it's not fun.
You basically mace yourself the entire time.
You kind of get used to it, which is really fucked up. But yeah, it's like I said, it's just interesting. Yeah, but I try to just not stand over the pot. And like a lot of these sauces, so like this salsa verde, everything was cooked separately, and then I just pureed it all. Like this has a bunch of kale in it, so I blanched the kale, pureed that with the jalapenos and the tomatillos and whatnot. But like that wasn't just a huge vat of boiling chilies. I'll probably get to that in the next few weeks with all those chilies coming in, and I'll get back to you. But yeah, maybe I'll get a respirator mask or something, but I'll figure that out.
Go full Walter White style.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So
Breaking Bad
Kamal's
shit.
like, I have to wear a respirator.
Yeah,
It's just
it can
making-
fuck your day up,
Yeah.
like really bad. Yeah, and there's been days where, you know, maybe I had a little bit left on my hand or something, and I wiped my eye. So then for 2 days, I'm just like, I look like I smoked 3 joints, so I might as well smoke 3 joints and just roll with it, you know. But yeah, it's I'm having fun with it, you know, and I'm definitely not where I was hoping I would be, I guess, when I started it. But that's, you know, I guess that was really high hopes. I'm like, I'll have like a storefront and this and that. It's pump your fucking brakes, dude. You know, like obviously we just talked about that. You can't really try to expand too fast either. You know. So like right now, I'm just kind of hanging out, working at Duval's, doing the markets, and you know, just doing like small batches of stuff for like companies here and there, and then just trying to kind of expand slowly with that, you know.
Yeah, it's just a little side hustle for the moment.
For the moment, yeah.
Right.
I'd like to make it a full-time hustle, but right now is not the time.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Labels cost too much these days.
Dude, labels. Oh man, labels, bottles, just everything costs so much money. I just had 200 something empty hot sauce bottles get sent to the wrong address. And I'm still in the middle of figuring that out. Wow. So, you know, it's just, it's been a week. But yeah, it's even that, you know, I'm not worried about it. Worrying about it is not going to get my bottles back. So, you know, it's fine.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm not at the market this week, because I don't have any fucking bottles. So, if anybody's wondering.
Give everybody a little baggie full.
No, I didn't already make the sauce. I do have all the ingredients for it. But then I was like, why am I going to run around and make all this hot sauce when I don't have anything to put it in? Yeah. So, you know.
Sell one big bucket of it.
I was thinking about it.
Right.
I have like mason jars and stuff, but I'm like, I don't think people want like a $20 mason jar of hot sauce.
I don't know.
That's how much it would be.
Bitches love mason jars.
Bitch,
5
do love
gallon
mason
buckets?
jars.
By the handful.
It's like scooping
All right.
like $1 a scoop.
Fill up like a super soaker with it too.
Yeah, there we go.
Right? Yeah, I think we're onto something
yeah, we
there.
are.
Okay, yeah.
Go a little Oliver Twist style, just fucking slop it out right there.
Put your hands out.
That's an MTV sport right there.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yes,
I like
super
that.
soaker with friggin' hot sauce.
Make it like
Double
some
dare?
sort of like farmer's market challenge or something.
Yeah,
you know?
wisdom ferments, fear factor.
That's like a big thing now. It's
Yeah.
like hot one.
Oh, and even like the one chip challenge that they
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
Yeah. Like my roommate did that, and it was very funny to watch. And he's like, "You should get one." I'm like,
Hell
"I just
no.
watched you do
Yeah.
it. Why do I need to get one?"
Then you gotta wash-
For the show.
The hottest pepper I've eaten was the habanero, and I was working with a bunch of Brazilians, and they were like, "If you don't eat it, you know," and I'm like, "Whatever, guys, I'll eat it." They all ate them, and they were fine, but I wasn't really thinking that they were used to it. So I ate a little nibble, and it like my whole day was ruined. I'm not gonna get into details, but it was not fun.
Then you
14
gotta-
hour shift. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you gotta wash your hands real good afterwards because
Exactly.
you touch something and that'll really fucking.
Well, it's funny. I bet people probably think I like love spicy stuff. I like spicy stuff. And I think I like the challenge of like balancing the spice more than actual like burning your mouth off, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it's, you know, it's just like anything.
You don't want to destroy your taste buds.
Yeah.
No,
Melt
exactly.
them
And like
off.
I said, if
not
you're
my
looking for
taste
hot
buds I'm
sauce
worried
that
about,
hot,
you know what I
hey,
mean?
exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holy Jesus.
And you never know. I mean, if there's another pandemic and toilet paper's not accessible again, then you don't want to be messing around with that. So,
Yeah.
too far?
No.
All right,
no.
cool.
Have you not listened to this show before?
Oh, I've listened, yeah.
No, it's. I find it interesting because so many people started side hustles
Oh, yeah.
during the pandemic because they're bored, they're out of work.
Yeah.
You know. So I feel like within the next year or so, we're going to start to kind of see the fading of the.
Either, yeah, I think either, people growing or people just kind of stopping. I think there's going to be a lot of kind of both. Because right now I feel like maybe a lot of people are like maybe in the middle, not quite sure where it's going, or, even what they're doing, me. But, it's something you have to really kind of keep working at it. It's obviously not just going to happen.
Yeah.
And like I said, I thought I'd be a little bit further along at this point, but that's fine too, But yeah, it's definitely tough. It's trying to balance all this and then also, get laundry and dishes done and, maybe remember to eat dinner, things like
I
that.
thought you had a girlfriend.
Oh, I do. Yeah, she works a ton too, though. So it's
Yeah.
we're both just trying to save up and just get a house or something. Probably not a house anytime soon, but something.
Well, that's why I built a pub in my backyard for my pandemic project because
That's
it was
perfect.
going to be done. Just one and done.
Pandemic project
I don't
pub.
have to do it ever again. I just want to do it once and
I
then
like
be done.
it. Yeah.
You can just enjoy it for the rest of the time.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
I haven't found any homeless people living in it yet.
I am a dumbass. Yeah. It would have been all profit too. I don't drink at this point. I could. I fucked up.
Yeah.
So if we can go back to March, right before the pandemic,
get my
and then I'll just
DeLorean.
make a bar in my
Did
backyard.
you start this? Or was this
So I actually started bottling hot sauce when I was working at the Tasty.
Yeah.
We did a cannabis dinner event like the week before everything shut down. So I made a bunch of hot sauce and bottled it and sold it there. And I made a pozole, which it's like a Mexican style stew. So it's made with like corn broth and meat and spices and chilies and just super, super tasty. But I kind of just took that idea. I'm like, that was easy enough to bottle 12 bottles of hot sauce. I could do that.
I can do this.
But yeah, times like 6,000 or whatever. And, it's not as easy as doing a 12 bottle case. But, no, I mean, I kind of just took that and ran with it, I guess. And, like I said, Tyler at the Garden of Easton had his delivery service going on. So he was cool enough to kind of help me kind of get that going, and get the product into the hands of some people. But I mean, I would do a lot of delivering myself, like in my car. My girlfriend would deliver stuff, like, oh, you want 2 mustards? Yeah, we just drove 45 minutes to deliver these 2
you have to
mustards.
have,
But
like a 16-year-old kid hold your hot sauce, so like you don't really do the time.
exactly, yeah. I'm too pretty for jail. That's the thing. I would not last a second. And I'm aware of that. So
I think you'd have a lot of boyfriends.
I would be holding somebody's pocket pretty quick.
Making that toilet stew.
But on the other end, I'm a chef, so I feel like I would be okay in jail. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yep.
Like I could make. I don't know.
Do they
I don't
keep-
really want to speculate on it because it's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
like, make me something with this, and I won't kill you. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some jail ramen, jail
Exactly,
tacos.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Jail
They have a
trail
lot of big
mix.
kitchens in the cells.
Okay. I actually there's a lot of videos. It's like guys making like food in their cell. I always find that stuff like fascinating. Just seeing.
But they do like a hot
what they
plate
can-
and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what they can make out of like a Slim Jim and fucking Doritos or whatever. It's kind of pretty.
When you
cool.
got a lot of time on hands.
Kind
you
of
can-
gross. yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of gross, but then he has 3 joints. He's like,
I mean, I'd try it. Yeah.
So you said you guys did a cannabis dinner right before COVID.
Yeah.
So is that with cannabis?
What is
So
a cannabis dinner?
it was an event in Worcester at a place called the Summit Lounge. So it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
cannabis lounge.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much it was put on, and I made food to pair with a certain cannabis strain. So I honestly forget the strain, but a joint and some hash rosin dabs were paired with the flavor profile of the soup that I made. So that's why I kind of went like chocolatey spicy, because I think it was like a citrusy like blend, if you will. some sort of like mimosa or clementine or something like that. I don't remember somehow.
I wonder why.
The taste testing.
Yeah, somebody gave me a dab at that event, and I don't think I've ever been so high in my life. I had to go fucking hide in the room that I was doing the soup, and I'm just like, I just want to leave. I don't know these people. I have to drive home. Like, it was definitely fun though. Yeah, it was a good
wild.
time. Yeah.
Carl, when are we gonna do one of those?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what it's all about.
Yeah. So and it's tough with that too because there's so many laws. I mean, you can do a beer dinner, and that's fine. But if you want to do a cannabis dinner, it's like fucking shut the lights off, call the police. And I think at this point, it's 2022. Like, let's just get rid of that stigma.
Yeah.
And like I smoke cannabis. I enjoy it. You know what I mean? I have 2 fucking jobs.
I smoke
so
the
let's not
ganja.
get to the like.
It's not you. It's the fact that like grandma smoked weed.
And I feel like people also give it a bad rep. It's like, you know, the 17-year-old showing up to work like, you know, like they just smoked a blunt on their way in or whatever, and they don't do any work while they're at work. People like that are what people, you know, they give people like me a bad name.
Right.
But it's also a medicine, you know what I mean? It can be overdone, just like anything. You know, you can drink too much water. So it's a thing, you know?
It's a
They
thing.
call that drowning.
Yeah. I'm very buoyant, actually, so I don't think I have to worry about that.
What you got, Carl?
I don't know. We got any questions?
Yeah, let's do a question.
I like questions, yeah. All right.
Give me a second. I gotta.
So a cannabis dinner.
Yeah.
While he's looking up questions.
So I've done a few
there's
cannabis
nothing
dinners
in
as
the
well. So for that there wasn't, but I've done a few in the past where it's like a 3 to 5 course dinner. I do at somebody's private residence at their house. For anybody listening, so that's legal. But yeah, we pretty much we get people's intake on, you know, how strong they want their food. Everybody's different. That's the first thing. I might smoke cannabis, but I also don't do edibles every day. So, you know, 50 milligrams of an edible to me would be way different to you or you or you.
Yeah.
Edibles scare the shit out of me.
So that's the thing. You got to start off with low doses, and I feel like people are like, "Oh, I'll just eat 2," and then you know you have a terrible time, and then you're like, "Well, fuck that."
Yeah, never do it again.
And I've done that too. I did that at Levitate. I ate a few too many gummies, and I just kept my sunglasses on until 9 p.m. I saw people I knew, and I'm like, "Nope, not talking to you."
Don't do the homemade one.
Yeah, well, I've made some homemade ones, and that's why I don't really mess with those. But yeah, I mean, the cannabis dinners, you know, me and my friend Adam will do them, and we'll go and we'll dose however they want accordingly, kind of. You know, so let's say you don't want the first course dose, that's fine too. You know, we kind of make it tailored to everybody's experience. And I actually have one of those coming up the end of August, I believe. I'd have to check my calendar. But yeah, so if anybody's interested in those as well, reach
I was
out
gonna say
to
you're
me.
dabbling
Yeah.
in a lot of shit over
I
there.
am fucking everywhere.
You're cooking. You're making hot sauce. You're making sauerkraut.
I'm
you're
also
doing
a personal
cannabis.
chef if anybody
Yeah,
needs that.
jeez.
Catering.
Wow, you're really hoarding yourself out over here.
You know, hey, whatever's
I
gonna
think he
pay
already
the
did
bills
his
at
last
this
call.
point. It's, you know,
Wait till the last call, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna hoard yourself out over
He's
here.
all excited.
I know,
Very
right?
excitable. I told you, ADHD.
Thomas Bullock is also excited.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true.
All right.
We'll find out
But he's
shortly.
looking for advice. He says server 1 and server 2 not getting along on shift, bickering, but normal stuff. Server 1 gets irritated and goes to server 2. Goes to other staff members and says, "I want to punch server 2 in her stupid face."
Oh,
Yep.
Server
Sounds
2
about right.
overhears it and considers it a threat. Do you write up server 1 or fire server 1?
That is a really good question.
That is a very
Yeah.
good
There's a
question.
lot of
Because if server
context
one-
there
if
too.
server 1 comes up and says, "I'm uncomfortable in the workplace because of a
Yes.
threat that was made against me,"
Yes.
that they've overheard, is different from, "Hey, you're a jerk, shut up."
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it depends on.
But I mean, how many times are you like, "Oh my god, if they don't shut up, I'm gonna fucking kill them"?
Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of.
Totally, that
Game?
happens as well. But yeah, if that's like a serious thing
But-
and you don't
right.
feel
Right.
safe
It
at
all
the
depends on
workplace,
How serious
server
it
one
was.
is.
Yeah.
exactly.
seriously takes it.
And if
So you'd
they're
have to-
besties too, and they're just like
Yeah.
beefing that day or whatever, you know, that happens too.
I know.
Is it
I
a
say I want to
workplace
punch Carl in the
disagreement,
face all the time.
Or is it a harassment issue? I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
it all depends on which server comes
Right.
in.
So, in my opinion, you talk to server 1, be like,
But you can't downplay it.
It might be a write-up, but I mean, I think you'd have to definitely have a conversation with
Oh,
every
100%.
party
Well, I think
involved.
at the very
Yeah.
least you have to write them up.
Totally,
Yeah.
especially nowadays. I mean,
100%.
you can't have anybody coming to work and not feeling
Safe,
comfortable
yeah.
or safe,
right.
or
And I'm gonna
that's just
even-
unacceptable.
Play the self-interested douchebag
Yep.
Oh.
and be like,
So your
okay,
normal
yeah,
self.
like normal.
So he's Andy.
Server 1 is like, "Oh, I'm gonna punch server 2 in the face." yada yada yada. Server 2 comes to you and is like, I don't feel comfortable, and you're like, fucking, rub
Get
some
over
dirt
it.
on and get over it.
Yeah.
And then it happens, and
That's-
then you're on
that's
the fucking
really
right.
on you. And that's why you need to handle
Yeah,
it.
no.
Yeah.
You always got to cover your bases when it
Yeah.
comes to that stuff, even if it's not intentional. Like,
And if you know
gotta
nothing's
take
going to come to
something-
fruition out of it, you
yeah.
still need to do
You gotta
something
take
about
something
it.
small and pretend like it's big to resolve
And
it
then
from
the
getting
problem
too
after
Totally.
that is everything that happens after that, that might be a comment, even funny or amusing to other people. Now you have to take that into context because you took the other conversation.
Yeah.
So as a manager, you have to say, now you have to watch every other employee because they're all making small comments. Now nobody can make a comment.
Yeah.
And we have to
Well-
handle every case the same.
Right.
Yep.
And then even though you have a conversation between server 1 and server 2, yeah, the conversation and that situation might be resolved right then and there, but then are they going to be able to work together from there on out? Even if they resolve it, it's not, you never know if it's 100%
Yeah, there
gonna
might be that
resolved,
weird
right?
kind of disconnect
Yeah,
now.
so
Yep.
then, and then it reflects on everybody else around them, including the other staff, the
And maybe
guests,
server
like
one
all
is
that
there.
stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
At the end of the
Oh,
day,
yeah.
that could be true too.
Yeah.
And then, you might even have to mess with the schedule, and then that puts
Right.
more work on your plate because
Right.
you're trying to figure
Yeah,
out how
why
to not
should
have
I-
these
yeah.
two work together.
Exactly. Why
And
should I
that's
cater to this
ridiculous, too.
scenario when,
Yeah.
da 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 da.
And we've
So-
all been there.
And
It's-
customers see it and the whole...
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Customers can feel that energy, I
Yep.
feel
Oh,
like.
Yep. yeah.
And
Yep.
there's nothing worse than going into a place ready to spend your money
Yeah.
and being like, do you guys not want my
Yeah.
fucking money?
Yeah.
And just
Because
feeling
even-
like you're invisible, you
Because
know?
even if you don't know there's an issue going on,
Yeah.
you
You
can
could
pick up
feel
from
it,
your
yeah.
server being
Absolutely.
like, "What's their
Totally, yep,
problem?"
yeah.
Be like, it seems like you don't want to be here, so why would
Yeah.
I want to be
Yep.
here? Right.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, people are coming out to spend their hard-earned money
Yeah.
wherever, you have
Yeah.
to respect that. So
I guess in punching in the face is one. It's kind of like almost an extreme
Yeah.
circumstance.
Yeah.
But like you get that kind of bickery shit going on every single day.
Totally, yeah.
And so at the end of the day, you just have to talk to the both of them and be like, if you both can't be adults and work in the same place, then either the both of you got to go or you
the
whatever.
both,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Because
Because both parties are kind of in
Exactly.
the wrong, so it's
Like-
And the other way I'm looking at it is not even like the actual threat. It's just like the
Right.
shit you say.
yeah. Sometimes you
Or
just
how
gotta
you
like
say it
vent
even,
it,
yeah.
right, and
A
let it
buddy-
out. But you're right, however you say it.
But a buddy of mine owned a comic book shop up on the North Shore, and they had like this really dark, shitty storage room. And
So a dungeon.
well, no, but it became a joke that they'd all be
God.
like, "Oh, go put that in the rape room. Go put that."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ha ha ha! They ended up firing this girl.
That's
Oh
tough.
no.
who's like, "Oh, such and such a store online has a rape room."
Oh, God.
And all of a sudden, that's when like the Yelp ninjas come out. And, they're getting all
Oh
these.
Yep.
And
no.
since they fired her, they couldn't even elaborate why she was fired.
Sure.
Because of legal, and so they had to like live through this, 3-week period of where everyone was shitting all over.
And we
them.
all know that something drastic happens on the internet can shut down a business.
Oh,
Yeah, seriously.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
you just
it's
gotta
crazy.
be really mindful about what you say,
Yeah.
Yep.
even
Yep.
if it's just to
What
let
you
out
say,
some
how
steam.
you say it,
Yeah.
That's
So I
crazy.
guess
I'm
the
gonna
answer to
respect
the
that person in
What-
the face.
right in the kisser. Yeah, no. So I guess the answer is write them up, right? Did we answer that?
Yeah, I
All right,
feel
well,
like you got to write
Or at
them
least
up.
write
yeah.
up the situation.
Or,
Yeah.
Exactly, right? You need that documented.
Or if you really think they're gonna hit him.
Send them home.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. If they're like, that guy's fucking unstable, he's really gonna kill him.
Or, hey, you ring the bell and you let them go at it and you see what happens. You know?
Make it a ticketed event.
you
Carl's
know?
gonna make money off of it.
That's why during my meetings I say I'm going to slap everybody here.
Okay.
The way you covered
Let's
all
see
of
what
this,
happens.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not playing.
Everybody's on the
I like
same
it, Carl.
plane.
Right.
Since we have a chef here, Amber.
Where's the chef?
It's just.
Dan?
Yeah, it's me.
Amber Briggins. Hollandaise question.
Okay.
Our newest health inspector has told us we need to use pasteurized liquid eggs or no more than 3 eggs per batch to hold.
What?
Another option is to cook the hollandaise to 155. Currently, we do a quick blender method. Any ideas or things that have worked for you?
Heat it to 155.
Yeah, heat it to
Yeah.
155.
Next
Do the
question.
double boil method with
Yeah.
a bowl and put it in a friggin' thermos.
Wait. So
Thermoses
so how are they
the
making?
key to that.
What are they?
Yeah.
What are they making cold holidays?
I know. That's what I.
I've seen people do that. It just tastes like raw eggs. 'cause
That's what
it's
I
not
mean.
quite cooked. So you
that's-
can put it in the blender with the hot butter, and it looks good, but it doesn't.
almost like
It's
tempering
cold?
it, or-
It's pretty much tempering it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think if you just go the old school
heat up
method.
your holidays.
Yeah.
So it just sounds like
But is that like
cut corner.
a thing
Hey,
health inspectors do? Like, hey, your recipe.
should probably
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
all right.
They
well,
won't
so-
do it unless they see you doing it.
Exactly.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
either that, or if,
So it's like,
if
are they
it's
getting
not at a
complaints
hold
and shit?
temp, if it's not at
No,
a
they'll
hold
come in
temp,
and they probably said, hey,
they'll
what
say,
is this?
Yeah.
why,
Yeah.
why,
Got
is,
it.
why is your hollandaise at this temp? And then you explain, well, because we do this, and then that's what they would say.
But if a health
Okay.
inspector
You gotta do
comes
that.
in and tells you to change something, why are you?
You
even
gotta
us?
change
Yeah,
it,
it's
yeah. And
I know,
they're-
do
they're
whatever the
law
health
of
inspector
land,
says.
yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
And if
know
you
what?
can't figure that out, they do sell the hollandaise powder, and that stuff's fine too. So
Yeah.
How
you
about
know?
this? No, do it. You're fine.
Well, to me, it's like if they came in and specifically looking at your hollandaise sauce, was it like 4 people at your brunch?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
like.
Well, no, they
Or is it-
probably went around with a thermometer and they tested a bunch of sauces,
totally, yeah.
and then they were like, "Hey, this one isn't to temp. Why isn't it to temp?" And then they probably explained their process.
And they're like,
then
well, the
they're
cold
like,
eggs in the blender should have heated up, but it didn't.
Right. We put the blender on really fast.
Yes. Which that'll generate some heat, but yeah,
Yeah.
not
It was really
enough.
hot in the kitchen that day.
"Yeah, what are you using cold hollandaise on?"
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's move past
They
it.
didn't-
Do whatever the health inspector says.
Yeah, pretty much.
What it
Whatever
does,
they say
listen-
to do.
Literally, they can shut you down.
Yeah, do with the guy that can
We've
take
been
away
shut
your
down
restaurant
because
says.
of our hollandaise. That's the worst
Yeah.
excuse ever.
Yeah, and if it's that big a problem, don't serve hollandaise.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Totally.
There you go.
So
Done.
we're at last call.
Last
Yeah.
call.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That was quick. Let me,
Right?
I don't have a watch on.
Time flies when you're having fun
Mike,
talking about
ladies don't
kraut.
like it when you say that.
Wait, what did you say? Because I might have
I
liked
don't,
it.
I don't have a watch.
Yeah, I definitely don't like that.
So this part where we go around, this is the part where you get to like plug.
Right, this is where you whore yourself out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since Mike was already doing, we're gonna jump right to
What?
Mike.
No, I have other stuff to talk about. And like,
Right, yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
all right,
you're,
cool.
you're gonna
He
get
was
to go.
giving you
Yeah.
damn.
So,
Your time.
He's the first person excited to do last call,
this
too.
Saturday
We're like,
at Soul Homestead in Middleborough,
no.
my friends and I will be cooking a pig dinner. Tickets are still available. It's a fundraiser to raise money for Soul Homestead Education
pigs
Center
you
in
feeding?
Middleborough.
Nice.
So they have a farmstead on there. They have a lot of educational classes and stuff for kids. But yeah, we'll be cooking a dinner that's going to involve like local pig, chickens, cornbread from the grist mill, local veggies from Farmer Dave. Still tickets available on Facebook. I believe I have the link on my Instagram as well. If you're into that, definitely come down and have a good time. And yeah, come check out the Rye Tavern Markets on Mondays. I won't be there next Monday, but I will be there pretty much every Monday after that.
That's all right, because this doesn't air for like a month.
Hey, perfect. So the fact that I'm
I
even
have no idea when
fucking
this goes
talking
up.
about
I have
this.
no idea when this goes
So yeah, whenever this comes out, this stuff will already be passed, and I'll look like a dumbass, but that's fine.
Well, what's your Instagram? So people
My
can go?
Instagram is Mike_wisdom, and I believe wisdom_ferments. A lot of underscores going on. Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
So yeah, check it out.
Yeah. So go there, find out what he's doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place.
Mahoney, what do you got?
I'm gonna plug stuff that happened like last year. So Mike's not the only guy that didn't do
Thank
stuff.
you.
So
Thank
like,
you so much.
yeah, listen, I got you, man.
Vaccination.
Yeah. Remember to bring your masks and. I just woke up like a half hour ago. Drink water. That's it.
Yes. Drink
That's
water.
what my life is today.
How was Maryland?
It was awesome.
Nice.
It was really far away, but it was awesome. Go to
Plug
Ocean City.
Maryland.
Yeah.
The state of Maryland.
the state
Grew
of
up in Baltimore.
the state of Delaware is terrible.
Yep. Shouldn't be a thing.
Philadelphia is awful.
Yep.
State of Maryland, 2 thumbs up.
I like that. All right.
All right.
What do you got, Jess?
I guess I'm gonna promote sauerkraut because I feel like that's what we
Yes.
talked about for the first 20 minutes.
Sauerkraut for the people.
Yeah, kraut it up. Do whatever you need to do. Get that kraut filled.
We could do like an Instagram check-in where like you go live and Mike has you try sauerkraut,
that'd be
but not
great.
tell you. He's
Wait,
like,
blindfold kraut.
check out this is
I'm
ice
down.
cream, and then
One of,
I'm
them,
down
one
with
of
that.
them's like, no, sauerkraut's like cat treats or something.
but Chess
still do
has
it.
This
I'll
is my
still do it.
favorite one.
yeah.
This tastes like Easter grass when you say that.
I'm down with that. Do it. Do it up. Blindfold me and
Hashtag
just
kraut life.
shove food in my
Kraut
mouth.
life.
Yep.
Kraut life.
Kraut life. Kraut life. All right, I'm
you
done.
got,
That's
Karl?
what I got.
I'm going to go local. Shop local, eat local,
Yes.
buy local. Obviously, it might not be the cheapest thing you do, but it might be the best thing you do.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Carl, that was very intelligent.
That was great.
I've been waiting on.
Wow.
He wrote that out
Do you
on
have
his
a
arm.
tear? Is that a
Did.
tear?
Yeah.
I see a tear.
I think Jen wrote it out for him.
Yeah. He'd use it now or he's gonna start smudging.
I'm going to promote Bar Talk. I don't know when they're coming out, but we're working on some Bar Talk merch.
Yes.
sure.
And,
He's been telling us for 2 years now.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, well, I have
Well, look,
signs.
I've
Also
seen-
been
I've
there for
seen
2
it.
years.
Yeah,
so.
they were
I've seen it.
So hopefully within the next few weeks to a month, we'll have that out. You can check it out on the Inebriate website. Inebriate website.
Stop taking edibles.
Yeah.
Mike,
Oh, I didn't even tell you. Yeah, those have weed in them.
Oh,
Yeah, you're fucked.
you just told me sauerkraut.
Weed sauerkraut. That's a whole nother show.
So yeah, check those out when they come out. And I don't want to like jinx things, but it sounds like we're going to be going back to Vegas. So
Vegas
keep,
is sweet.
keep your ears open for next March.
I don't know if I want to be involved in that.
Is it a kraut convention in Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all Germans.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening. You can email all of the German hate mail can go to @bartalkcast@gmail.com.
Perfect.
You can questions, complaints, all that stuff. You can find us at @bartalkcast on all the social media, and we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/inebriart to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at inebriart.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at inebriart or at inebriart6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebriart, and all the other shows on the Inebriart Network, which you can find at inebriart.com. Thanks again for listening.